Hi everyone, we're back today with part 2. So today we're actually seeing the results of our new macaron mat and how they compare to the usual Silpat mats. If you missed part 1 yesterday, feel free to go back and scroll through my timeline. You should be able to see part 1 and see how we ended up with where we are today. So let's get straight into it. So as you can see here, I've got the ones on the new mat and the Silpat mat ones here. So I'm actually pretty pleased with the results. So what I found when baking, they did need a little bit of extra time and to lower the temperature as well. I found when the temperature was too high that the feet were actually rising way too much and it was just getting to be too high. So I'll grab one here. As you can see, I'm not sure how well you can see. So this is from the new mat. So we've got a really nice foot there. They've come out really nice and smooth underneath, and I'm quite happy with that. So a little air bubble that I missed yesterday, but I'm not too fussed with that. So hi Hazel. So these are the results for the new mat. So I'm pretty pleased they've come out quite well. The one thing I did notice when I started taking them off the mat, some of them you can see I still haven't even taken them off, is there is a small ring of, I guess, residue or something that's left on the actual mat. So I baked a second batch yesterday with one of the other mats. This is the original one that I did bake yesterday. But on the second mat, and I just wanted to wash it and see what actually happened, whether it did come off. It didn't. So that's another mat that I used. You can see it's actually left the imprints of the macarons on there. So I haven't used this one again. I've only used it the one time. So whether that will affect another batch, I'm not sure. I'll have to get back to you on that one. I can't see why it would, but I do actually, that would be my only concern. That could affect, future batches, whether that actually affects, macaron making down the track and the residual sort of grease or something, whatever that is, I'm not too sure, actually does affect any in the future. So that'll be something that I'll be keeping an eye on. I will probably still be using these ones. They did come out quite good. I'm quite happy with them. They are still really circular, as in with baking paper, they can go a little bit wonky shaped or anything. For the price, I would recommend them. I probably, if you do already have Silpat mats, I wouldn't rush out to buy these ones. I wouldn't say there's a massive difference. You will need to, if you are swapping from Silpat to this sort of mat, I would definitely recommend checking your temperature, seeing whether that residue will make a difference at all later on down the track. So I was hoping that would actually wash out or something like that, but it didn't. So that's actually sort of stayed in the mat. With Silpat mats, you don't get that at all. You can actually wipe that off and clean it up. And if there is any residue, you can actually get rid of it with a bit of rose spirit or alcohol, so clear alcohol like a vodka or something like that. So the next part today, I wanted to show you 2 different ways to fill macarons. So there is the traditional way, which is just with chocolate, which is what I prefer to use. I like to use chocolate ganache. You can see these 2 have come out really well, so I'm really happy with the way they've come out. So I should actually show. These are the macarons from the Silpat mat. So I'm pretty happy with that. There's nothing too different that's come out with that, so I'm quite happy with that. So Silpat mat I'm still happy with. I wouldn't sort of rush off and get rid of all my Silpat mats. For these mats, I'd definitely still keep them. They are pretty expensive per mat, especially I'd buy a larger size to fit my trays. So the size I buy usually come out to about $30 per mat. So to fill these macarons, so I'll just grab 2 from the new set, the new mat I should say, and it's pretty simple. So if you remember in part 1, I used a size 12 tip with a coupler, which is there. I've just got some dark chocolate ganache today because it's what I had in the fridge. Yes, I've always got ganache in my fridge. You never know when there's a ganache emergency. I find it's really good practice the same way that you pipe your macaron to actually pipe the filling as well. So I'm hoping this hasn't hardened up too much. I did have it quite soft. So I'll try and sort of get as close as I can. So again, straight again, and just fill it out. And as you can see with the chocolate, it does rise a little bit. I like to have, or to be able to see the actual filling in my macaron. So if you've seen in the past all my macarons, you can actually see the filling. Now this is where I may be a little bit different to other people. I flip it to the side, match them up. So I'm actually just going to be, and I do a little twist. So there you can see, it's a little bit wonky there because I'm trying to keep it in front of the camera. Macaron, yummy macaron. So I'll show one more time. So I try not to fill right to the edge because then it'll actually all just spill out over the sides. So you can see that's how much I sort of leave. That will change depending on the size of your macaron too. So obviously bigger macarons, you'll go further out. And then swap to the side. And I do a small twist to get it nice and even. And that's a better one there. So I hope you can see that. I do have another piping tip here today. You're not limited to what sort of piping tip you can use. This is a Wilton 4B and it's a star one, so it looks like that. And of course you can just go out like that and make like a sort of star shape. You're not really limited to how you can do that. So you can see you get a, hopefully you can see that with the dark chocolate, I'm not too sure, but you can have a little star shape. Or of course you can go traditional sort of swirl. And you can sort of see more of a swirl in that. I might take some closer pictures up later and post them up later today. The other thing I get asked about a lot is when I actually put in my fillings, how I actually do that as well. So I've got a couple of different options. I've got a bit more chocolate in here, so I'll go back to the size 12 tip. Now you're not really restricted. It doesn't have to be a size 12 tip when it comes to the filling. It's just what I have always handy and available, so I just grab that all the time. Now to actually do a filling, it's so simple. It's just a matter of making like a bit of a donut shape. And as you can see, you just leave a gap for the filling. Pour your filling in there, so whether it be a lemon curd, lime curd, jam, caramel sauce, it could even be maybe like a little toasted marshmallow, anything like that. Like that, put your filling in and just down, and it'll be a nice little surprise filling for everybody. Very nice. Well, I hope that has answered some questions. Please feel free to shoot me through emails or anything like that. If you would like to learn how to make my macarons, I have 2 classes coming up in March, 17th and 18th. That's a Saturday and Sunday. Sign up on my website and hopefully I will see you there. Okay, thanks. Bye everyone.